What is up, YouTube? And today we're going to be talking about Bystander Hwayoung. Now, Bystander Hwayoung is available from the current Mystic rotation, and she is a new ML 5-star character who, at first, people thought would be a very, very good unit, but turns out she might not be as good as it seems. So, if you guys don't know, she is primarily going to be a light unit counter. You can see that her S3 is a single target attack that does extinction. That will also ignore damage reduction and damage sharing, so this is also a very good just like tank buster and just a way to snipe out characters. And also you'll see that if the target is of the light element, you'll increase the damage, and the soul burn for only 10 souls increases the damage. Also immune to buffs and debuffs, right? And she also has defense, scaling with her attack, and she can also counter attack with her S3 if an ally gets hit for more than 40%. Just a pretty powerful unit on paper, but you're going to find out that if you actually tried playing her or plan to try playing her, she's very hard to build. Now, one problem with her, I'd say, is that she's only really good against light units. Without this damage increase, her damage isn't that great. And also, without the soul burn, you can't really one-shot very tanky tanks, right? If you're against like a 30k health Ambitious Tywin, you will not kill unless you soul burn, and even if you soul burn, you need really good stats to kill. And because of that, you're going to find that she is pretty hard to build. So her artifact, I think, is pretty much locked in place. You want a Sigurd Scythe. Obviously, the higher level it is, the better, but just having this at least on her at plus 15 is very good because it gives her something that she lacks in her kit, which is sustain or lifesteal. Yes, she's very tanky. Yes, she has CR push. Yes, she has a lot of single target, but she doesn't have a way to sustain herself, which is a very important thing for warriors to have. Sigurd Scythe is pretty much a must on her. If you guys don't have this, another good option could be Golden Rose as well. But Sigurd Scythe will be better because the attack percent on this will actually make it so that her defense is higher on her because her defense goes up with her attack. Next, her gear. So I've been struggling to make her work actually gear-wise, and I think a lot of players that have her have the same problem unless you have like godly gear that's built for her. And that's because you want her to be very tanky, or not very tanky. You want her to have very high damage while still maintaining some speed, while still maintaining some bulk, and you don't want her to be too tanky and you don't want her to be too fast, right? So it's kind of weird how you want to build her. And on top of that, you also really want her imprint concentration. And that's because crit chance is going to be one of the best in terms of like gear score you're getting from it, or stats in general, how it's weighted. So, you know, just having imprints will actually make it a lot easier to build her, which makes it so that, you know, it's very much harder for players that haven't spent a lot on the game or haven't been playing that long and gotten a lot of dupes of Hwayoung to actually build her. All of my Hwayoung imprints here are going to be from just summoning fire Hwayoung randomly. So because of that, I got pretty lucky. But her imprint is very important to building her, and there's a lot of ways to build her. I've seen people build her at like 160 speed on full damage. It's kind of similar to my build. I've seen some people bump her speed up. I'm not saying my Hwayoung's the best by any means, but I think you really want to get as close to 350% crit damage as you can. At the very, very, very least, you want 4,000 attack. Higher is better because, you know, you really want to one-shot people with her S3. That's kind of the point of why you pick her. Now for her defensive stats, I think at least 10,000 health is fine, and then any, you know, defense on top of that's good as well. You're getting a lot of defense from your passive anyways, but more bulk is always better. Now I actually tried her on a faster build at like 220 speed with lower damage and a little bit higher bulk, and it's just not that good. I think you really want her to be on very high damage, so you're gonna have to kind of make it work. Now the best sets for her are going to be penetration, because she doesn't have built-in penetration actually. She does ignore damage sharing reduction but not defense, so you really want a penetration set. And then you kind of want destruction set, because destruction set will give you the most gear score or like stats for when compared to other sets. Another good option could be something like speed set, right? Which is what I actually had her on previously in my first video on her. But I think destruction set is just better overall. But you know, it's really up to you and your gear. I think personally speed set for my account's better, because you're going to see I'm using some unoptimal pieces here just because I wanted to put her on destruction set. Like 94 equipment score, 95 equipment score isn't really that good for her because she is so stat heavy. Where if I put her on speed set, she can get a lot better pieces, although it does make her do a little bit less damage and, you know, be faster, which I don't want her to be too fast, right? So there's a lot of options, right? And I think people are still testing her out. But, from what I've seen, I think this is a pretty good build for her, from what I've, tested. Now comes the question, do I think she is worth pulling? Now, this unit isn't as broken as previous ML5 stars that we've had in the past, right? We've had units such as ML Politis and stuff like that, and even ML Luna, ML Lua, Harsetti, ML Leonov. Those are all just better than her in general, but I think she's still a pretty powerful unit. I think she's like a 7.5, 8 out of 10 in terms of strength. Whereas, the very OP ML5 stars we've had in the past, like Harsetti, ML Lua, ML Politis, are like 9.5s or even 10s. But she's still a good unit. I think Smilegate did a good job in her kit, right? She's a very fun unit, and, we definitely needed a counter to very tanky white units, which she does fit that role for. But, she doesn't really make or break the game like other ML5 stars have in the past. So if you're looking for a very broken unit to just, first pick in World Arena everywhere and put in every single defense team and stuff like that, I think ML Hwayoung is not the unit for you. But if you like her design, or you like to actually, fight against those white units that are very tanky and try to counter them, she's a very good unit, and she's very fun to play. But I think, if you're debating whether you want to pull for her or not, or waste your pity on her or not, I would say you most likely will want to skip her for now. Just because as of this video, I think people are still either figuring her out, or, there's just better ML5 stars that might get released in the future if you look at past trends. Okay, thank you for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are going to pull for her. We do still have 16 days left as of this video, or if you already did pull for her, what you think about her, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.